Living in Orlando, Florida, I run a small organization myself. I'm a sole proprietor. I also work for a company called Electromagic Productions, who's run by Jim Robinson from Promo Only. I don't know if you guys are aware of who he is. And I started doing a lot of the club work down there at Universal Studios at a nightclub called City Walk, where I was able to do video and audio as well, and it was basically a tourist thing, and eventually that just kind of faded away, and I just moved on to other nightclubs and private events down there. What I found unique down there was the style of, just take the mobile parties itself, the style of doing mobile parties is a little bit different than what it was up in New Jersey, because it was, I mean, they followed the same formats, but it was just a little bit more laid back. How many people from the Northeast up here? So you know that a lot of people, a lot of entertainers up there are very highly interactive. They focus a lot on their MC as opposed to the DJ. Well, down in Florida, they actually take note of your technical skill as well as your vocal skill, which I found kind of unique because I was all about the technical aspect as well. I learned how to master that before I became, before I honed my vocal ability as an MC.
Actually, I saw a mobile DJ. My aunt and uncle got married. First time I'd ever seen a mobile DJ. And it was cool. He had turntables and it was really good. It was a Japanese guy that was a firefighter friend of my uncle's. And did a really good job. And that kind of inspired me. So I started buying records and trying to emulate what I saw him do. And before I knew it, I was 14 years old and had about 345 records. Nice little decent collection. Couldn't really do anything. For Christmas, got a DJ mixer and then started playing around in the bedroom. My first job was at McDonald's, probably like most people. Every paycheck went out and bought something DJ related. By the time I was 17, I had a full-blown sound system. PV sound system, nice amps, had a full light show. I had 8 light water cans, helicopters, the whole thing. CDs had just come out. My first mobile gig, I had over 300 CDs. So it's pretty impressive. So anyway, so I worked in Baltimore. My big break happened when I met a guy that was a ice skating rink DJ. And he didn't work every night at the ice rink. He was in University of Maryland, broadcast journalism, was doing the Terrapin games, so he needed me to cover. So I started doing these ice rinks, and it was 900 kids, skating around in a circle for 2 hours. No big deal. Highlight of the night was stop skate, turn around, and go the other way. Watch them all fall down. It was pretty funny.
When I saw the signs that DJs wanted, like 5 years later, it was like, yeah, I do want to do that. So I did that. Technics, because that was what we had. We had Technics SL1200s way back when. In fact, we're still using them now. The fact that we're using them 10 years before that still blows my mind. But all vinyl. I was given a budget. They gave me a budget of £30, which £30 in 1984 could buy a small house. You know, it was quite a bit of money. They gave me this budget of £30 to go and buy music. It wasn't my music, but they let me spend other people's money, which is nice. And so I did that for a little bit, and it was fun and what have you. Kind of dropped out, got proper jobs, because I didn't think you could actually make a living doing this. You know, it's like something that you do as a hobby, something you do kind of part-time, it's something you do because, well, it's fun. And then I found out, I would go to parties, and people would be, you know, you'd have the kind of general, you know, the home stereo, and people are dancing, and I found what I was doing was, they've got the kind of double tape player, and I would grab tapes and I would take them to other rooms and rewind or fast forward tracks on other tapes, run back in, stick them in the other side of the double tape player so that people would keep dancing.
550 Australian dollars. You might think that's not bad, but what is that in American money? It is $364. I get paid $364 to do a wedding in Australia. In US money. 5 hours.
What's a bottle of beer cost over there?
What does a bottle of beer cost? You have stubbies? Yeah, you have stubbies. You can get 24 stubbies for $30. But that's Australian dollars.
Dude, you're not in my seminar.
So that will just give you an idea of
Capri
the main differences. Like a normal birthday party,
Come on down.
I would charge
All right.
$440. And again, I struggle to get that. Can you do any cheaper? We have GST tax, so it's like $400 plus your 10% GST. So it's $440, and they say, well, what if I pay cash? You know, can you give it to me for $400? And you go, oh, all right. So they give you cash. So you get $400 for a normal party, which is $292. $292 for 5 hours work. And that's just while you're at the gig, not forgetting the hour setting up, the hour packing up, the preparation you do. So, you know, work that out, an hourly rate. So we do it for love.
One of the things I think my market, and not knowing what anyone's making, and not to post or anything like that, it's a high-end market. I mean, DJs are probably averaging $300 an hour for a wedding. Then you add lights, you add everything else, it gets up there. I think it's the time we're spending. I think we're afforded that luxury of spending the time, doing questionnaires, establishing music lists ahead of time. You know, just for what it's worth, I meet with my clients 2 to 3 times, probably within the first 6 months. The last 6 months, maybe once to twice. So I've met with a client 5 times. But I've built that trust and that relationship up that they know the day of their wedding. Not only am I going to be there, but I have them as my best interest.
I suppose today and now is talking about what DJing is like in Wales. Well, I take my hat off to A1 Party DJs because I know exactly where he's coming from. Anyone here, what do you think the going rate is in Wales? What do you think?
2 sheep and a leak.
You're not far wrong, actually. Well, I have people phone me up and they say, you know, right, we'd like to book you. How much do you charge? And I say £180, which is probably about the same that you charge. It's dollars, you know, because I think the dollar is, what, 140. So can anyone work that out? Because my maths is crap. 100. Sorry?
260.
Okay, 260, yeah. So it's probably about the same. But again, of course, the thing is in Wales, you know, in Las Vegas, you have 3 million people. You know, in Wales, we have 4 million, okay? 4 million people in the whole of Wales. Okay, it's not a very big country, or a state, or whatever you want to call it, but it's a tiny area. And, you know, many a time I've had a conversation with Brian, and Brian said he's out this night, and this night, and this night, and he's saying, hey Jay, how come you're not out? Well, where I live, Aberyswyth as such, you know, everyone is Davis and Reese, they're all integrated, everyone's marrying each other and shit, you know? And in Aberyswyth, you know, I mean, you know everyone. And it's the sort of place where you get someone new coming in the town and they close the town because they don't know them. It's crazy.